Hello, let me introduce myself. My name is Alif Alica Falevi. In here, I will explain the two theory of the English school theory and the theory of liberalism. English school theory in the international relationship. In a definition is English school of international relation theory, also known as a liberal realism or the international society school, argues that despite the absence of a global authority, there exists society of states on the international state. It emphasizes that idea rather than just material power play a significant role in shaping international relations and should be thoroughly examined and evaluating drawing from what history. International law and political theory in the English school different from constructivism, although it shares similarities, particularity in its openness to normative perspective. Next, history of English school theory. The English school in international relation theory, despite its name, is exclusively tied to English member of or origin. Its inception and intellectual background are subject to interpretation, with some tracing it to figure like Cardus Manning and other to the British Committee on International Political Theory led by Herbert Butterfield. Nevertheless, pivotal contributors such as Martin Reed, Harold Bull, and R.G. Vincent are acknowledged. Jones coined the term English school in 1981, though alternatives like British institutionalities have been suggested despite its diverse beginning. The theory gained recognition, particularly due to its development at institutions such as the London School of Economics, Cambridge, and Oxford. Next, function of the English school theory. One, the first function of the English school theory, understanding international society. It provides a framework for understanding the structure and dynamics of international society, embracing the existence of a society of states, despite the absence of a global authority. And two, explaining states' behavior. The theory offers insight into the behavior of states by focusing on a norm, institution, and ideas that shape their interaction capability alongside material. And three, promoting dialogue and cooperation. By embracing common norms and values shared among states, the theory encourages dialogue, cooperation, and the resolution of conflict through diplomacy and international institutions. So next to the next theory. Next theory is liberalism. In a definition, liberalism in international relation implies cooperation, economic interdependency, democracy, human rights, the role of the states, international law, non-state actor, culture and identity, and the responsibility use of power and influence. These principles are seen and essential for promoting a more peaceful and just international order. Liberalism serves as a fundamental characteristic within contemporary democracy, exemplified by the widespread use of the phrase liberal democracy to characterize nations with equitable electoral process, adherence to legal principles, and safeguarding of individual freedom. Nonetheless, within the discourse of international relations theory, liberalism assumes a distinct significance. Liberalism introduces various concepts and arguments related to how institutions, behavior, and economic ties can mitigate the coercive power of states. Unlike realism, liberalism considers citizen and international organization over it over a more optimistic worldview, contrasting with the historical perspective found in realist scholarship. Next, a difference between liberalism and realism. The difference between realism and liberalism in international relations encompass their perspective perspective on several key aspects such a view on human nature, the state, conflict, cooperation, and the use of power. So the conclusion is a core of argument of the liberalism is that concentration of unaccountable violent power are the fundamental threats to individual liberty and must be restrained. The primary means of restrained power are institution and norm at both domestic and international level. At the international level, institution and organization limit the power of states by fostering cooperation and providing a mean for imposing costs on states that violate international agreement. Economic institutions are particularly effective at fostering cooperation because of the substantial benefit that can be derived from economic interdependency. Finally, liberal norms add a further limitation on the use of power by saving or understanding of what types of behavior are appreciated. Today, it is clear that liberalism is not a utopian theory describing a dream world of peace and happiness as it was on accused of being. It provides a consistent rejoinder to realism, firmly rooted in evidence and a deep theoretical tradition. Okay, I think it's done, and thank you for the watching, and goodbye.